Hi, y'all. What's up, man? Welcome in another episode, Podcast Perspectives, man. A podcast, man, where you can learn a lot from a conversation, talk about all things life, business, and motivation. Man, this episode talk about losses, experiences I had in business, real estate, just different things like that. Because on this show, I just kind of want to keep everything real, relevant, and shit accurate. You know. I got a couple things wrote down just to kind of keep me on track with what I got going on. Let me start this timer so I don't be on here talking all goddamn day. Y'all probably didn't seen I ain't been as active as I usually am on the episodes with the podcast, dropping videos all the time, and dropping all the recordings. Cause man, I've been busy, like just working in my business and just trying to grow. And shit, I've been moving so fast, like it's crazy. I like it, but then at the same time, it take a lot of time. When you're trying to grow something, it it take a lot of your time. You know, so you sacrificing your time that you could be using doing whatever. That's leisure time. That's whatever. So just know that they come with it. You talking to somebody who experiencing it. The first topic I want to talk about is time. With me, first of all, I even go all into that. My bad. How y'all doing today? Y'all chilling? When y'all listening to this from in the car, at home, with your people, at work, working in your business. Appreciate y'all for tuning in with me. That's been a blessing seeing people hit me up, telling me about the podcast, watching it, seeing me somewhere and telling me like, oh, I seen the episode. That's cool. That's kind of why I made it. For people to check it out, get some insight on stuff and see some cool people and stuff that they doing and not make it all about me. It's more so about y'all and y'all learning because the same people who I'm talking to, you know, I'm learning too with them. You always got to stay a student. You always got to, you know, be willing to learn. Like, that's how you grow. Like, that's something I had to learn even myself. Like, we gotta learn to learn. But I mean, it's the truth though. Like, not only do you have to learn to learn, you got to be open to learn. Like you can't like feel like you know it all because when you think you know it all, you cap yourself from growth because you know everything. And you might just be at level 2. And shit, these levels don't stop because we always trying to move a hidden target. Because once you hit certain milestones and certain goals and you reach certain levels that you're trying to reach, whatever that is for you, like you start moving on to the next goal. Oh, I want to make $1,000. You make it. Then you want to make 5. Then you want to make 10. Then you want to make 50. Then you want to make 100. And as you hit them goals, you forget to sit back. You forget to see how far you've gone as opposed to trying to see where you're getting to because your bar is always moving and it's always growing. So the destination is always getting further and further. And then you got to notice to look back and kind of be like, look at where I've come from. Like, let's celebrate that, And celebration ain't gotta be doing the most, but just sitting down and being like, look where I'm at, as opposed to where I was at when I started doing whatever I'm doing, whether that's your clothing line, whether that's, whether that is real estate, whether that's whatever business you got, whether that's reaching a certain position in your job, like whatever that is, like celebrate them things and then come back down to earth, humble yourself, and then keep going. So I want to talk about. I just went on a little tangent with that, just random. But I want to talk about family time, man, and just time in general. Some things I learned from that is like we got to learn to have. I wrote down quantity versus quality time. So quantity is how much time you're getting, but then quality is the quality of that time you're spending. Like you don't always have to have all the time in the world with people, but you want to have the time you do have in those moments, like spend it greatly. Like spend it living in that moment and not worrying about nothing else. Because I have that struggle of like when I'm with my family or I'm spending quality time with myself, like I don't enjoy that moment. I'm just focused on something else. I'm trying to be on the phone and make a call, make a text, look at something, look at a property, like whatever I'm doing. Maybe it's working on stuff for the podcast, like whatever I'm doing. I don't spend the time doing what I am doing at the moment. So we got to learn how to spend quality time and not focus on the quantity of the time, but just making sure whatever time you have, like spend it in that moment, spend it with your family, spend it with your friends, spend it however you spend your time. Like make sure we doing that. Um, some of us have talked about in time is like trying to. Let me go back. Let me pull it back a little bit. So something my my wife told me is because I'm always like on the go, I'm always on the computer, always trying to go view a property, always doing something, trying to record an episode. And she was like telling me like, yeah, you staying busy and you doing stuff, and I'm not spending extra time or quality, like I said, a quality time with her. She like, that's great and all, but she hit me with something that said, how would you feel if all your dreams came true, but you have nobody to spend it with? And she was like, I'm not saying I'm gonna leave you or nothing, but I'm just telling you, like, it's great to do stuff and chase your dreams and accomplish things. But she like, don't be so focused in it where you're not giving no time to nothing else because what's your dreams when you have nobody to spend it with? And that's real. I want to spend some time on that real quick. Like, we all just checking the volumes, but we all, want to chase our dream and accomplish things. And when you focus and you laser locked in on something, you kind of forget everybody else. Like, and you're supposed to be a bit selfish when you're chasing your dreams because that's how you accomplish it. But at the same time, you don't want to disrespect the people around you. And I don't mean like disrespect them in terms of, foul stuff and saying certain things, like not to that extent, but to the point of not taking time to speak and spend a little bit of time with people because, that's a struggle I have. It's like once I started chasing this, like 100% hardcore, like I shut everybody out, like friends, acquaintances, like family members, like, and I apologize to them, but it's not to the extent of like, that I don't want to fool with the people, but it's like I'm so lazy locked in. It's like I'm to the point where I'm like, oh, if you can't do something for me, like bye. You know what I'm saying? And it's like you can't always be like that because yes, stay true to your dream. Yes, handle your business, but at the same time, don't be afraid to take that minute or two to a minute or two too. But anyway, taking that minute to, what I'm saying, like spend a second with somebody. Hey, how you doing? What's up? Like, you know what I'm saying? Chop it up. Like, get on the phone with people. Like, go somewhere. Like, do something. Like that's like do those things. Like, don't disrespect the moment. Don't disrespect the person, and just shut everything out completely. Like, laser lock in, but sometimes step outside that box to mingle a little bit. And that's something I'm working on. Like, try to mingle a little bit and converse and do something. You know what I'm saying? And not be so laser locked in. But that was just something. I wanted to share. Like, she was just like, what's having your dreams and accomplishing it if when you get to the end, you have nobody to spend it with. Like that's the truth. Like, what is your dream if you're not spending it with nobody? If it's just you, like, are you quote unquote successful? Like, you're not. Like, you might be able to do whatever you want, but if you can't do it with the people you want to do it with, I mean, what's your dream? You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like that was in mind. Is spending it is chasing the dream to have more time to spend with the people I love. And to get there, I can't shut out all the people I love just to get to it. So, that's something, you know, focusing on quality time with people that you love and being able to step outside your bubble to do those things. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's a piece I want to talk about with that. we're going to the second part. I'm gonna talk about some deals I had, and I ain't gonna talk about wins. I'm gonna talk about the losses because everybody talk about the wins, but we're gonna focus on the losses. Yeah, and the things I learned from it, and what y'all could learn. Y'all could dissect. You could focus on the wins, but the learning really come in with them damn losses. You know what I'm saying? So let's talk about some of them losses. So I'm gonna talk about two deals. On one of them deals, I lost a few dollars, but what I really lost was some time. You know. Um, then on another deal, it's a fix and flip. I was getting into, lost some damn money on that one, and you learn. So that first deal was in an area that we target, a good area. Um, People who in the area, that Decatur area is booming. Got some nice real estate out there. If you can get in, you'll make a pretty penny. So what happened with this deal was we got into it. I probably dropped some maybe a snippet of the contract or whatever. So got into this deal. Went in up like maybe like 20,000 above asking price just to make sure we got in with no due diligence, because the area it was in, if you invest or that Atlanta area, it was in Avondale Estates. Avondale Estates houses in that area sell for 600, 700, high 500,000. So we was like, the price point we was buying in, it was like, it don't even matter. Like, just buy it and we'll figure it out. So after getting into the property, found out that it needed, excuse me, found out it needed like 180,000 in repairs. Bought in at about, I want to say it was like 220, 225. It'll be on the contract. I put it up here if I ain't too lazy. At like 225, need like 180,000 in renovations. Was gonna take the roof out. 800 square feet. Was gonna take the roof out and put a second story on it, because in that area there's a lot of new construction. So the plan was to um put a second unit on top of it, and not a second unit, second story, and then add to the foundation 200 square feet to make it 1,000 on the bottom and then 1,000 on the top. So adding 1,200 square feet, and that shit, it was just getting so extensive. There's a lot of stuff we had to do, getting a lot of engineering reports, all kind of stuff. But as the process started going, before even closing the property, we ended up getting an appraisal on it. And the lender we was working with, they got the appraisal. The appraisal came in. The ARV we initially was going to resell it at was higher than we thought it was going to be. And your ARV is your after repair value, for people who don't know. But anyway, the point was, in doing that, that ARV is what you use to resell it. So the higher you resell, the more money you make. So add all that up, 220 plus the 180, you all in like 400, resell at 6 something, right? So you was looking to make 6 figures on the deal. But as we doing the deal, it just got ahead of us. Like, never worked a deal that big before. So as I'm getting got some drawings, I'm gonna put that up here. Got a proposal, on a blueprint proposal that we had to submit, of how we was gonna do it. Had all that stuff laid out. Got the appraisal came in. ARV came up high, but then the as is value for it was low. So in that, we had to try to make up for the gap in the as is value, like the purchase price. If we was in at like 220, 230, but the as is value was like 160, 170 or something like that. Like I said, I probably put that in there. So that gap, we got to cover that gap. That shit was like, what was it? What's that? 220 to from 170, that's like 30 plus, let's say 30 and 30, 30 and 20, that's like 50, 60,000 right there. 50, 60,000 to cover in just that expense alone, plus doing 180,000 in the rehab. We had all that finance, but plus we had to put the down payment. Then you got to put money in for the draws, showing proof of that you have the money to do the work. It was that shit just got so extensive that we ended up backing out of it because it just got too heavy, too hectic. Backed out of it before we got too deep into it. Lost some money on. We probably lost about 5,000-10,000 just on the acquisition, but backed out of it just so we won't be upside down on the deal because it was just getting extensive and extensive and extensive. Finding out we needed more construction. Found out it had a septic tank. Anyway, people who don't know that, but it just got heavy. But you got to know when to be like, okay, this is too much. Pull the guns. You know what I'm saying? You got to know when to back yourself out of something before you go in too deep. So in that, it just, it was just a matter of wasting money. But then in doing that, you know what I'm saying? What I learned, because there's another deal, same thing happened. It was in the duplex, same thing. That one, you know, it was just the area situation where in doing the deal, we just seen the pictures, went looked at the property, got it under contract, and we get in there and like the foundation and everything was just shitty. Like it was like the subflooring was like non-existent. Subflooring is what's underneath the actual floor, underneath the carpet, underneath the hardwood, But anyway, it was like you walk into the duplex and you just jumping on a trampoline. It was horrible. They didn't want to drop the price. We like, this house is like trash. Like we got to put in so much work to even get this going. You got to drop the price. They weren't looking to do that, so we ended up backing out of that one. But in those two deals, you know, what I learned was I was just moving so fast, just trying to get the next deal and the next deal and the next deal, and I didn't have a focus or a defined property type that I was looking for. I was just trying to find the best deal. Just always just trying to find the next deal, do that one, get it done, find the next best deal. But shout out to KR, guy. Y'all should have saw him. He guy interviewed like maybe like episode like 4 or 5, something like that. But he was just telling me like, don't be a real estate thot. Like don't be doing this and that and that. And so now what I'm having to do is pull back a little bit, take a month or two to just define my criteria of what type of properties are you looking for? Because I'm looking for properties to buy and hold. I want some rental properties. So what's going on now is you got to learn to bag yourself up a bit to go back forward. Because what happened was I'm trying to find so many deals and I'm just finding any deal. It's like anything you do, like you can't go out and just shoot at everything you see. It's in a relationship. You just can't go try to date everybody you see. You got to know what your type is so that you're not trying to fit yourself into their bubble. They fit into your bubble or y'all fit into each other's bubble. Because what's going to happen is it's going to strain you. It's going to stress you out because you're not used to dealing with this particular person or thing or whatever it is. Like, so we got to learn to bag yourself up and focus. And so that's what I'm doing. Bagging up a little bit and focusing on what type of property do I want? What is my criteria exactly that I want to acquire to move forward? Because you have to have things defined and focused. You have to be focused on it. You have to be defined in what you're looking for. So that way, when you're going for something, you know exactly what it is and you do it over and over and over to the point where you master it. You got to find something that you can master in your field. Like you got to know what that is and become a master, or what is a master? Just come proficient at that thing so you could know how to do it like the back of your head. You know what I'm saying? So whatever you're doing, whatever you're going after, make sure you focus on it, you define it, and you go after it. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I'm at. Take a month or two, figure that out, do some research on that particular thing, and then go, you know what I'm saying, and just go into it. I'm gonna try to drop probably a video. If you're on YouTube listening, if you're not, go to YouTube, and I might put some clips of some properties and stuff. Cause I usually don't really, I record some stuff, but I usually don't really record because I don't be thinking about, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't be thinking about recording. I be thinking about just where I'm at and getting into it, getting out, moving on. So I really don't do too much recording, but I'm gonna start trying to focus on recording so y'all can see some of the stuff. But I'm gonna probably put some clips in here once again if I'm not too lazy. So that's that. And I'm about to go into the third topic after this. And man, just talking about, man, like I was saying, like, my wife was telling me about, like, you need to stop banking with Wells Fargo because one of my own business accounts have it with Wells Fargo. And man, I was seeing a lot of videos and stuff she was sending me that was going around saying like Wells Fargo was like being like prejudiced or like not really being the best to like our people, to African Americans who do business with them, whether that's business account checkings and savings, or whether that's personal checking and savings. But they were saying like they weren't treating people right. It was disapproving people to refinance and like not approving African Americans for like home loans and stuff. And I'm just about to give a little piece of my experience because I have experienced some funny situations like that with them. Like it was a few times, I went in Bank of America and they was just giving me like crazy looks because of the amount of money and stuff I was bringing in there. So I go in there and I brought like a large lump sum of money that I was depositing into the account, and the lady was just taking forever to process the money. Got the guy, he's going to the screen, they looking at the screen, they going back over here. Like it was just crazy. What do you do? Make me write my social security down, verifying me when I got ID, my card. The first time it happened, I'm just like, whatever. Tell my wife about it. She's just like, what? Da, 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 da. Why they doing that? You know, they got videos about that. People saying like, pictures or whatever. Y'all know stuff that's going on. And so, I'm like, whatever. So then another time, I'm trying to do a wire, and I go in there to do the wire, and the guy taking forever. He like, I'm looking at the account, tell him how much I'm trying to wire. He's supposed to do it and get out of there, sign some papers. Yeah, this is the amount, cool, and send it. Put the wiring instructions, all that good stuff. But he taking forever again, verifying stuff. Let me see your card. All right, here go your card. Let me see it one more time. Okay, let me see your ID again. All right, put it over there. Like it was just crazy, just weird, bad energy. So, is this shit focus? My bad, y'all. I'm just trying to make sure this camera focus. We are not looking at no blurry video. But so that had that going on, and then it happened again, and I was just like, bro, I went in there to get a withdrawal, to pay somebody on some just whatever. I'm just going in there withdrawing some money out, and at this time, I'm just like, come on, y'all, like why y'all doing this? Like, it was just I ain't do nothing crazy, but I'm just like, at that point, I was just like, I'm tired of dealing with this. I almost just closed the account. I didn't though, but who knows what I do. But and then I'm telling somebody about it. And they just like, yeah, man, you young and you black, and they seeing you depositing all this money and moving money around and all these different transactions in a month. They just look funny to them. Just try to go in, because I go in there like just with like same thing I got on now. I go in there with just t-shirt, maybe a hoodie, some sweatpants, some slippers, like dressing like me. And he like, maybe you should just change your attire and portray yourself in a certain manner, maybe like look some slacks, and dress up a bit. But I'm just like, why should I have to change myself so that somebody else is comfortable inside of a business that's supposed to be here for the customers? You know what I'm saying? So I feel like I'm not about to stop being me so they could be comfortable. They got my money. I'm not about to change myself. So that whole situation was funny. But I mean, what I learned from that is just like, just gotta control your situation. Like at that point, I could have easily just like take all my money out. I'm going somewhere else, um, or talk to a manager and let them know what's going on. I'm not comfortable, like what's going on. But what you gotta do is, control your situation, get to the source of the problem, try to get it solved. And if And if you can't come to a solution, then you change your situation. You move yourself, you remove yourself, and replace yourself, place yourself somewhere else. Like, don't be afraid to start over fresh. So that's kind of something I dealt with. I just want to talk about that, just about like dealing with that, like with the banking system and stuff like that. But I just shared that just share some losses, some experiences, some lessons and stuff that I've had going on during this year. Some some deals that fell through or that I backed out of. Just sharing that, because everybody share what they winning and success videos and highlights, and I could be one of them people, but I'm really not. I really don't care about trying to show everything and all that. My point in this is just to help people learn, like see stuff that I'm doing and how I'm doing it, and just learn from it and see what you can get out of it, and make it your own, because that's how we learn, like seeing other people mess ups or issues or whatever you want to call it, and then seeing them experiences and be able to create your own thing from it, so you can know, like, that's not what I don't want to do. That I'm gonna do it like this. You know what I'm saying? And feel free to hit me up or whatever, man, about any questions y'all have, business, real estate, like whatever like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not the guru, you know what I'm saying, but I can always share my experience, wins, losses, or whatever questions you have to help y'all out in whatever y'all got going on. Probably about to end it, but I'm gonna end it with like, got a lot of stuff coming out for the podcast. Bunch of things coming out this year, more recordings. Got to get back into that, post more on the page, more clips, recycle more content. I just be busy trying to find time, trying to find balance, you know what I'm saying, and just make it make sense. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of where it's at. Appreciate y'all for listening. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I could say before I close it out. That's really it, man. Just stay tapped in. Stay hitting me up, man. That'd be cool. Keep listening. Keep growing. So much more to come. I appreciate y'all. I just want to end it with, don't let nobody define you. You define yourself, and just keep growing. Don't let nothing get in your way. Anything in the way, just run it over. Got to keep moving. But like I said, value your time, but then also value other people's time, and don't shut people out, which is something I'm working on. Like, try to find, I don't like using the word balance, but I guess try to find balance in it all, mentally, physically, spiritually, whatever that is for you, and that's all. Just keep growing, man. Quote I got in my bio is, if you're not prepared to lose, you're not ready to win. And I believe that you got to be ready to lose it all to get it all. Gotta be ready to be down to be up. That's all I got for y'all. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. Share this with somebody you feel like could use the information, use the enlightenment, use the motivation to keep going. Other than that, it's your boy T, and I'm out.